of the state's unaccounted land in the Eastern Cape and a French tycoon's assets seized. SAfm News at 4. I'm Sir Marshall. About half of state land, which is unaccounted for, is in the Eastern Cape. This has been revealed by Land Reform Minister Gillian Quinty in a written reply to a parliamentary question by Freedom Front Plus MP Peter Groenewald. Mercedes% reports.
While figures reveal that almost 8.5 million hectares of state land remains unaccounted for countrywide, just over 4 million hectares of that land which is unaccounted for is in the Eastern Cape. The figure translates into 24% of state land which is not accounted for in that province. But Nkwinti also reveals that 67% of the Eastern Cape land remains in private hands, while 9% is state-owned. He added that the land unaccounted for in some provinces is due to unsurveyed and unregistered state land. Mercedes% SABC News, Parliament.
The co-chair of Parliament's Joint Committee, Lemias Mashile, says former Communications Minister Tina Pule's conduct will continue to be investigated as long as she remains a member of Parliament. She's facing a number of maladministration accusations, including those relating to the ICT Indaba. This comes as Justice Johan Froneman presides this afternoon over the swearing-in ceremony in Pretoria of a replacement for Pule and a number of others. Mercedes% reports on Pule's problems.
Lemias Mashile says the 9-member panel is on the verge of concluding its findings and recommendations to be submitted to the Joint Committee, which will consider the final report and table it before the National Assembly, where Pule is a member.
No one is off the hook or in the hook. The only thing that will stop the Joint Committee from continuing with the investigation is only when a member of Parliament ceases to be a member of Parliament.
Mashile says it's hoped the report will be tabled once Parliament resumes after the winter recess. But if Pule ceases to be an MP before then, Mashile says the report will not be tabled and the probe will not continue. Mercedes% SABC News, Parliament.
Students and employees of the University of the Free State have visited the Mediclinic Heart Hospital, where Nelson Mandela remains in a critical but stable condition. Mandela is receiving treatment for a recurring lung infection. Student Dean Rudy Bay says Madiba offers many lessons to South Africans, most importantly about reconciliation.
We are showing our commitment to never let go of reconciliation, to thank Madiba for what he has done for our country, to show respect for what he has done, and to give our praise for him and his family in this time. So that's why I'm here. I had the privilege of meeting Madiba, and I'll never forget that, because I still get energy for the work that we do with our students, for justice and reconciliation from that experience.
The Community Development Foundation says it's concerned about the high level of brutality against young boys in Pondoland in the Eastern Cape. 8 boys from Kwambisane village had to be admitted to Greenville Hospital in Bizana after they were allegedly assaulted at an initiation school. Class Director Nkululeko Ngesi says one boy was tied to a tree for over 12 hours.
These men that are doing this, they came there to his home, they took him back to the initiation school, and then they tied him around the tree. They beat him there the whole night up until he was unconscious. So when we came, we realized that all the initiates were missing. They slept outside in the field for the night. So we looked for them with the help of the police, and then they were taken to hospital yesterday around 6 o'clock. They are badly injured. They have been hospitalized, but many of these culprits have been arrested. As we speak, they are in jail.
The DA has launched a set of proposals to address South Africa's unsecured lending crisis. The launch took place in Edenvale and Gauteng's East Rand. This follows the recent publishing of the draft National Credit Amendment Bill by Trade and Industry. The DA's Jordan Hill-Lewis.
We came here today to propose some legislative changes to the National Credit Act, which we'll be submitting and arguing for in Parliament over the next few weeks and months, to make it more difficult for credit providers, unscrupulous credit providers, to abuse garnishee orders and to try and protect vulnerable consumers.
And finally, corruption investigators in France have seized the assets of a tycoon, Bernard Tapie. The case relates to a huge state payout Tapie received in 2007 when Christine Lagarde, the head of the International Monetary Fund, was France's finance minister. Lagarde was in charge of the arbitration process which led to the payouts.